the total number of travelers who may enter Singapore through the VTLs is about 5% of pre-COVID daily arrivals at Changi Airport. We must therefore press on with our efforts to reclaim our status as an air hub. Let me now share our next steps to further reopen our borders. Earlier today, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong spoke with Malaysian Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob to take stock of the discussions on the launch of vaccinated travel lanes between Singapore and Malaysia. Both Prime Ministers noted the significant progress that our countries have made in vaccinating our populations and managing the COVID-19 pandemic. They agreed that it is timely to progressively resume bilateral cross-border travel. The Prime Ministers agreed that Malaysia and Singapore will launch a joint vaccinated travel lane between Changi Airport and Kuala Lumpur International Airport from the 29th of November 2021. Malaysia is our closest neighbor. Our two countries are deeply intertwined with long-standing economic and people-to-people ties. Undergirding these ties is the close connectivity between our countries. Pre-COVID, the Singapore-Kuala Lumpur International Air Route was the busiest in the world, with about 40 flights daily and an average of 7,000 arrivals per day at Changi Airport. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, both Singapore and Malaysia had to close our borders with limited travel subject to quarantine requirements. Families have been separated for many months and businesses have been affected. The Ministry of Health has updated its public health assessment, and Malaysia will be in Category 2 from the 12th of November. This is timely and it sets the stage for us to establish a VTL scheme with Malaysia. From the 29th of November, we will commence the VTL with 6 designated services between Changi Airport and KLIA. It will allow fully vaccinated travelers to travel quarantine-free between Singapore and Malaysia. For entry into Singapore, they will be required to present a negative PCR or professionally administered ART test result taken 48 hours prior to departure, and they will be subjected to an on-arrival PCR test. We will open applications for the VTL with Malaysia on the 22nd of November. The Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore will provide more details nearer the date when applications are open. We are also in discussions with our other ASEAN neighbors to reconnect with them, and we will make further announcements when ready. Turning to Europe, we have so far launched VTLs to 8 countries. As a next step, we will extend VTLs to Finland and Sweden. We have or had direct flight connectivity with both countries, and this will restore two-way quarantine-free travel with them. Like the VTL with Malaysia, we will launch the VTLs with Finland and Sweden on the 29th of November and open applications on the 22nd of November. CAAS will provide more details nearer the date when applications are open. We are also in discussions with our partners in the Middle East and Asia Pacific. We will closely monitor the situation and progressively extend the VTL scheme to more countries, guided by the Ministry of Health's Public Health Assessment and Risk Categorization, as well as operational considerations like the digital verification of the vaccination status of travelers. The experience with the VTL scheme has given us the confidence that we can reopen our borders safely. As of the 7th of November, close to 18,000 travelers have entered Singapore via the vaccinated travel lanes. Of these, 17 have tested positive. This is about 1 imported case per 1,000 VTL travelers. In tandem with the phased expansion of the scheme, we will increase the daily quota for our vaccinated travel lanes. We have currently allocated a daily quota of 4,000 travelers to cater to arrivals from the 13 VTL countries. We will increase this to 6,000 when we launch the VTLs with Malaysia, Finland, and Sweden. This is about 8% of the total daily arrivals at Changi pre-COVID. With the launch of the VTLs, there has been an encouraging upward momentum in passenger traffic. We expect this momentum to continue to rise in the coming months as we extend the VTL to more countries and public confidence in air travel recovers. At this juncture, I would like to thank our frontline workers at the airport, officers from the CAAS, from the Immigration and Checkpoints Authority, and the larger Changi Airport community, including our airport customer service officers and baggage handlers, who are doing their best to ensure the smooth implementation of the VTLs, to sustain service levels amidst the changing circumstances, and to maintain stringent protocols to safeguard public health. The additional requirements like pre-departure and on-arrival tests, digital verification of vaccination status, and safe management measures at the airport are needed to protect travelers, workers, and Singaporeans. As the frontline officers endeavor to ensure adherence to these measures, it may take more time than we are accustomed to at Changi. I hope that travelers can understand and also do their part by, for example, completing their e-health declaration card before arrival. Together, we can ensure the Changi experience remains safe, smooth, and pleasant. So to conclude, I have shared our plans to extend the VTL scheme to Malaysia, Finland, and Sweden, and our efforts to reconnect with more partners in our region, the Middle East, and the Asia Pacific. Let me reiterate and reassure that we will continue to reopen our borders in a careful and calibrated manner with the essential safeguards to protect public health.